Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Gibson here with step 2 of your research paper writing. Step 2 has to do with writing your introduction, and you have an intro graphic organizer that takes you through it step by step. I would, though, highly recommend going to the video that we've watched about funnel introductions, how they begin with a hook and how they narrow as the paragraph goes on, ending with a thesis at the bottom. It's just a good review that takes you through the basics. But the graphic organizer that you have mirrors all of those steps here and details how to go about doing that. So when you are writing an introduction, you want to think about appealing to a large audience and making your topic relevant to other people, making them interested and tapping into some background knowledge that they might have, or just something that interests them in general. So as we think about the hook, you can begin with a quote, a fact, an interesting question, an anecdote, which is a little story. But whatever it is that you pick, you should have the end point in mind. And your end point is your thesis. And your thesis is going to list those 3 reasons why your person is influential. Okay, so let's just take a look at a sample hook that I've got here. My example topic is about Andy Warhol, the artist. And so here I found a quote. The quote is by Jeff Koons, who is a living artist. He's actually from York, Pennsylvania, and he's one of the highest paid artists in the world. It says, Jeff Koons, the York, Pennsylvania artist, whose work currently nets $500 million, once said, "I respect Warhol more than plenty of other artists." I also have a reference to where I found that quote in the citation, and we'll get to that in future videos. Anyway, this is my quote, and I thought it was a good place to begin because one of my reasons for why Warhol is influential is he's had a big impact on the artists who have come after him. So this kind of gets me going in that direction. My next step is something that probably comes very naturally to you, and you might not think of it as something to separate out of your process, and that is the transition sentence. When you are going from your broad hook into your thesis statement, you need to make things narrower as you go along and more specific. So this is a sentence that links whatever idea you had going on in your hook to whatever idea is coming next. It kind of works like a bridge. And again, a visual for that is that funnel getting narrower. So here in my example, I've got a transition that's actually, it's a couple sentences, and it reads, "In fact, some might argue that there would be no Koons balloon dog sculpture if Andy Warhol had not first popularized the elevation of everyday items to iconic status through work like his silk-screened Campbell's soup cans. Not only do top artists of today pay homage to Warhol, but most students in public school art classes can be found learning how to use a silkscreen, all because of Warhol's popularization of this assembly line application." So something else I plan on getting into in my piece is about how Andy Warhol really made art for everyone and invited people who might have felt excluded from art into the process. And that's kind of touched on here with the art classes. So I'm narrowing my topic. I started off with a quote from Jeff Koons, and I build on that here by mentioning one of his pieces that wouldn't have been popular with, or wouldn't have been possible without Andy Warhol coming first. And then I'm kind of segueing that into things that Warhol has popularized in general. I need then to end with my thesis statement, and my thesis statement needs to have 3 parts. And here I'm listing my reasons, and I'm using parallel structure. Parallel structure just means that whatever pattern you begin your list with, you've got to repeat that pattern. So let me show you what I mean. Warhol's influence on American culture is wide-reaching because of the way he democratized art Okay, so I have the way he, and then my first reason, democratized art. That's about me talking about how we made it for everybody. The way he has supported and influenced other modern artists. So notice I've got the way he, and then my second reason. And the way he has held a mirror to American culture through his choice of subject matter. So as a result of all my research, these are three big ideas that emerged as I was reading about Andy Warhol, and these are the three kind of big umbrella ideas that I'm going to explore my research through and do some explaining and arguing as to why he was really influential. So, again, here are the basics. Hook, transition from the hook into the thesis. And the thesis has your list of 3 reasons why your person is influential.